Oh, hello there. Today you're in my bathroom and I do apologize upfront and in advance if it comes off a little bit echoey. I don't have my bathroom set up with soundproofing materials, so excuse the echoes, but I promise you if you can get through this video and just focus on what I'm going to share with you, it's going to be so valuable in helping you have the prettiest breasts that feel really good after explant surgery. And if you are new to my channel, welcome. And if you have been here before, welcome back. My name is Christina. I'm the founder of Size Happy, the admin of The Best Facebook group on Facebook, Breast Implant Illness, Rejuvenation, and Education with Christina. And you can also find me on Instagram at I am Size Happy. And this is my microphone right here. I'm trying to do the best that I can. And before I get into my little goodie bag of things to take and things to do to help your breasts after explant surgery, I do want to briefly touch upon 7 things to avoid right after your surgery. So the first thing is, especially with your incision area, you'll want to avoid direct sunlight, and you'll want to avoid submerging your incisions in water for a long period of time, like taking a bath or going swimming. If you can avoid those 2 things for however long your explant surgeon recommends, I can almost promise you that your incisions over time will come from red to pink and eventually white, which I will show you what mine look like further in the video. The third thing you'll want to avoid is laying flat for at least, I would say, 3 weeks. You want to make sure right after your explant surgery that you are laying on an incline. And this just helps your breast to settle down, especially if you got a lift. The fourth thing to avoid is lifting your arms up overhead or like lifting too much in general, whether it's your kid, weight, whatever it may be, laundry. I've seen a lot of women really overdo it right after their explant surgery because they feel so good and they have so much energy, only to be like super sore and in pain for days afterwards because they just did too much and they lifted too much and they were just too excited with their hand. Number 5, just for overall breast health, is something that I personally recommend, and that is to avoid aluminum deodorant. The deodorant that I'm currently using is, I don't know if you say hum, I don't know how to pronounce it, I just know what it looks like, and this one personally works for me. I have used Schmidt's before, and that one worked really well, except I would get little rings on my clothing, where this one doesn't. I don't get like the little deodorant stains on my clothing from this one, but avoiding that aluminum because it's just so close to your breasts, and that aluminum can accumulate in those lymph nodes, and as we know, aluminum just is not good for our body. Number 6 is to avoid air fresheners, perfumes, fragrances, because those 3 things can alter and really cause a hormonal imbalance, especially in women. So if you can avoid those and just opt for more natural fragrances from like maybe essential oils, those are going to help your overall hormones and breast health. And lastly, avoiding caffeine, or at least minimizing it if you're really dependent on it and you're having more than, I believe it's 300 or 400 milligrams of caffeine per day. That's like the maximum. If you're drinking any more than that, then you can have really tender, clumpy, bumpy breasts in general. So if you're able to reduce your caffeine, that would help, and also to minimize or avoid alcohol in general, because alcohol is just very toxic to the body as we know it. All right, now to the good stuff. I'm gonna go into 7 things to take and do after your explant surgery that's really going to help your breasts look and feel better. So the first thing is Arnica. This is the brand that I use and I trust and I recommend for your explant surgery. And what you would do is take it or start it a week before your explant and stop it like 2 weeks after your explant. And what this really helps with is swelling and bruising and pain, which is like perfect for explant surgery. Arnica is a must-have. Number 2, vitamin E. Vitamin E is said to be really good for breast health. So if you're not taking vitamin E, I would look into it and see what the maximum would be for your age specifically, but incorporate this into your diet maybe at least for the first year after your explant, will be super helpful and beneficial to your breast health. Number 3 is vitamin D, and I am currently out of vitamin D, but vitamin D is a fat-soluble vitamin, so you do want to be careful with the amount that you take. Vitamin E is a fat-soluble vitamin as well. So A, D, E, and K are all fat-soluble vitamins, which means that they'll accumulate in your body. They won't like get excreted through your urine if you happen to take too much. So those are the 4 vitamins that you do want to be a little bit more cautious about taking because they will accumulate in your body. And of course, having too much of anything is just as harmful as having too little. 4th thing, and I love this supplement and I love this company. This is actually the company that I recommend inside of my healing and detox program, the BII Bridge. It's Zuma Nutrition, and this is called Happy Hormones. I recommend taking this just in general as women, especially if you are premenopausal, perimenopausal, or in menopause. This, just all the ingredients and the herbs in here really do help to minimize PMS symptoms, balance hormones, and endocrine system health is what it says. So I'm going to link all of this that I can down below so you can see for yourself and kind of just research things yourself. I do have a 15% off coupon with the Zuma Nutrition products if you get anything from them. Now we're getting into the fun stuff. So let's talk massaging. This is a big one, and I always say start massaging whenever your explant surgeon says that it's safe to start massaging. And that goes with anything here that I might talk about. Some explant surgeons will want you to start massaging maybe like the week of your explant or maybe 2 weeks after your explant, but any of these things definitely run by your explant surgeon first just to see what they recommend for you in particularly. But with massaging, I recommend not actually massaging the breast tissue. It's more or less just massaging the areas around and underneath your breasts. I have a whole entire video dedicated to this. I will link it down below, but it goes over how to massage, where to massage, and also the types of oil that we use in this community to help our incisions smooth out and become whiter. Number 6 is the good old dry brush. This thing is like, it looks so innocent. Whoops! It looks so innocent, but this is so powerful when it comes to circulation and moving lymphatic fluid around and keeping things just really just moving. So you'll start with your arms and you'll do gentle strokes towards your heart, and then you'll go down towards the bottom here. This is just how I was taught, so I'm sure there's a couple different techniques. And then you'll go back up to this part. Then you'll actually do the armpit area, and then you can sweep it across this way and go down, or you can sweep it down and go towards the lower area of your body. And again, you always just start here, gentle short strokes, go down to your forearm and go back up here, do the armpit area and the breast area, and then you can go across here or go down. But having a dry brush after surgery, and of course being very mindful of your incision area, is just going to help with circulation and keeping things moving, because you probably will be sitting around for a few weeks after your explant surgery, just resting and not moving around too much. So this will be really helpful along with the massaging. And last but not least, the oils to use on your incisions. So we have Jason Vitamin E 45,000 IUs, which is the maximum strength. And then we have frankincense essential oil. And what I do, let me find my little vial here, is what I did was I took a vial and I put 2/3 of the vitamin E, and then I did 1/3 of the essential oil in here. And before I would massage, I would of course shake it, and then I would pour some out on my fingers, and I would grab a little bit of coconut oil on my fingers first and massage my incisions first with the coconut oil, and then I would massage with the vitamin E and the essential oil over top of that. And why I did it that way is because the vitamin E is very sticky. It does not blend well over the skin. So the coconut oil really helped to keep things smooth and not like rubbing on that incision area. And so I would just use that and the coconut oil and the essential oils. And as you'll see here in a second, my incisions are perfectly white after explant. All right, so I'll try to give you a little sneak peek here, but as you can see, these are my incisions right here. And like from far away, can't really see them. You will notice that my incision area came up a lot longer than my actual natural breast area, which can happen and it is pretty normal. And that's because I had such large breast implants that my surgeon had to make that big of an incision to get my implant out en bloc. So, but they're white, they're normal. You know, I do have like this little, I don't know, this is just like my ribs in here, but it's just an extra like piece of skin, I feel like. And I do have dents still in my breast. You know, I'm 4 years post-explant. So, you know, they don't look how they looked before I got the breast implants, which were nice and smooth and my muscles weren't all ripped open. And of course I didn't have the scars, but they're mine and I love them. And I kind of want to end all this with saying that if you're in this unaccepting place of your breasts and how they look and how they feel, I just want to gently remind you, like, our breasts have been through so much since like our adolescence. For me, I'll speak for myself. Like, I did not like the way that they looked. I basically like hated them and I felt like inadequate. And so my breasts have been through enough judgment and enough trauma. And I'm just at this point to where it's like, these are all mine and they're not perfect, but they tell a story and they show my strength. And that's something that I want every woman to feel, especially after explant, and especially if they don't look or feel perfect, right? Your definition of what you would have wanted them to look like. But again, it's just like, oh, you girls have been through enough, and I'm just gonna spend the rest of my life completely loving you and accepting you and appreciating you and respecting you. So that's just kind of where I'm at. And lastly, I think I said lastly, but this is really lastly, just an off-the-cuff thing that I really want to recommend to a lot of women, whether you are pre-explant or post-explant, is this book, Busting Free, by Dr. Amanda Savage. It is amazing. It is an amazing book. She is a counselor and a therapist, and this book will get you back to really everything that I've talked about, which is accepting your breasts and seeing them from a different perspective. So it says how to liberate yourself from the quest for better breasts before, during, and long after your explant. And there's also 30 guided audios that come with this book. So highly recommend. I will link this down below. And of course, we always have the Size Happy merchandise to put all of your breast support stuff in, like I do, and I keep everything together in one place. And plus you can bring it with you to your explant surgery and just show off that you are finally size happy. So I really hope that this video helps you. Be sure to check out that other video about massaging your breast after explant. I'll link it down below, and that'll go over exactly where to massage, how to massage, and it'll go over the oil blend for you so that your breasts will look and feel as good as they can after your explant surgery. I will see you on the next video.